Welcome to the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. And tonight, I discuss about fatigue. When we're working with fatigue, when we're hell-bound and spent with our energy, and we don't feel like going that extra mile. We don't feel like doing it. When procrastination settles in. Even if that's not the case, even though if we don't have energy, what do? I discuss about that on tonight's program. But first, I'm going to discuss a little bit about some details before the podcast on what I have coming out. As I mentioned in previous podcasts, The Passage of Joe, Memoirs of Junior Year in High School, is coming out April 28th, 2015. I've been working on that, and it is completed, and it is now available on pre-order on Amazon Kindle. And I'm also working on having an audiobook done for The Enlightened Way, How the Zen Path Can Help Depression, one of my books that was on the Amazon Kindle. And I am going to try my best to release new material for you, and just so you're not hearing the same things over again, I'm going to try to spice some things up. Now I'm going to start the podcast. What do we do with fatigue? Now, I've been dealing with this for a few times. I've worked during the day, or I work during the night. I'm staying up all through the day, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the night, I'm tired. And I'm getting tired a little bit earlier than normal. It doesn't stop me from working on what I need to work on, even though it stopped me last week. But I guess that's the time of year. In this time of year, we don't have much energy to spend. We're going through our phases of the winter. We're getting ready for spring. We're getting ready to start up again. We might be working on new projects, but our energy to the fullest isn't there until spring comes. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my book, The Passage of Joe, the Memoirs of Junior Year of High School. I'm not going to discuss about the content of it. I'll just discuss when I got the urge to write and start writing that book. It was 20 years ago, and in the beginning, it was after I got the flu. I didn't have much energy, but then notion came to me to start writing. And then I wrote. It was the beginning of my writing. At that time, I was playing hockey. Later on that year, I played soccer. And my energy wasn't there as it should be because I was utilizing it. And it wasn't where I wanted it to go. And this happens with work. This happens with a lot of things, with our family, with everything else. Our energy is going everywhere else but where it should. And what do? There's so many demanding factors. There's family, there's friends, there's doing things that I don't have to do, but I'm doing anyway, like podcasting, blogging, because I know it's going to help build a better brand than it's supposed to be. And we do these things. We have social media, we post things, we work, we sometimes do jobs that we don't like just for money. Maybe you like the job, but some of it is rewarding, some of it might be rough. I'm just saying this for example, because my old job, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And having that job, my energy went somewhere else and I wasn't fulfilled. I felt I needed to do more in life. I needed to do more to fulfill my dreams, my passion, my desires, everything else. What was my main goal and purpose in life? Even when I was younger, I had that dream in my mind. I wanted to live life to the fullest. And then when you're older, time is scarce. You have to divide your time. You have to divide this, that, everything else, because everything is important. And going through all of that, we struggle to find importance. And we struggle to do what we have to do, and then sometimes we procrastinate the things that we need to do, need to get done, because things and situations build up. So what do? I'm going to discuss about that after the break.
Introduction. For as long as we can remember, we grew up in families. Whether it was to our natural parents, foster parents, or it was our aunts and uncles who raised us, we were born into a family and a pecking order. This was our position and standing in the family. Some of us have dealt with our parents first. Some of us had to cope with the fact that there was a smaller member of the family, and some of us dealt with the fact that we had to deal with older members of the family. They were our siblings. Through this time, we develop into people we want to be. We have an idea of the job we want in life, and we have an idea of who we want to marry. Quote, birth order is widely recognized in individual psychology as a determinant of personality. Ashby, Locierco, and Kenny, 2003, page 43. We develop our certain paths by learning from our parents and our siblings. Even singletons go through the growing up process developing traits. Eventually, we learn to interpret where we stand in the family. According to Campbell et al., quote, psychological birth order is generally defined as the way a person perceives and interprets his or her position in the family constellation. Ashley, Locierco and Kenny, 2003, page 44. This is where we gradually formulate ideas, and we grow them into our own. Oftentimes, this leads to conflict within the ranking of birth order. The next section will discuss how birth order develops in people. Introduction.
That was Birth Order, How the Roles of Each Sibling Are Placed at Birth, written by Joseph Evaldi, narrated by Jonathan Andrew Young, and it is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Back to the podcast. I'm back. And just like everything in life, I forgot about my last point. But I'm going to try to wing it and try to come up with a little bit about what I was talking about before the podcast, or before that commercial break. So, procrastination. And why do we feel it when our energy is going everywhere else? And I don't know. We feel we have the need to do things, yet our energy is going everywhere else. And we are caught in a rock and a hard place. Our energy is fatigued. And how do we cope with that? Well, we need to pace ourselves. We need to pace in a way that helps us to deal with these situations that hit us all at once. And we're not bombarded, we need to pace. For example, I'll take saving for example. A little bit each time will help. Will help build what we need to do, and then eventually we'll save a lot of money and we'll have more than what we need, and we can utilize that. That's exactly how energy works. If we're doing everything at once, we're going to lose that energy. We're going to spend it on things that we don't want to spend it on. We might be hanging out, or we might be working in a pick a job, I don't know. Let's say retail. We might be working at a retail job. Had we gone to, we might not have had to go to school to do a living that we want. All it takes is reading and education. And reading, gaining knowledge on topics, self-help. It could be anything. It could be on taxes. It could be on history. Anything. These will help you build a better future for yourself. And you won't be locked in. and you'll be doing the things that you want to do. You'll be attending